If I could give one piece of advice to you, it would be to learn what works best for you. Everyone doesn't work the same. Some people may be visual learners, some people may prefer more fixed routines, but get familiar with your revision methods and see what works for you and stick to it.
One of my top tips would be setting realistic time limits. You don't want to be setting a time limit of like an hour to revise, because if you don't meet that hour you're going to be quite disappointed, whereas if you say you're revising for half an hour or even 20 minutes, then that quality learning time is motivating you, especially if you go over your time limit, and obviously not overdo it, but if you go over it and you've done even more successful, then it's going to motivate you to carry on.
During exam season, what I found didn't help was discussing the exam after it had already been sat. At that point, it's not about the what if, it's about the what now, and discussing what questions and answers you should have had doesn't help in any way, so just try and avoid that entirely. Don't leave everything to the night before. It just creates so much more anxiety for you, and it becomes really stressful, and you want to try and go in a clear mind, and just don't push yourself to the limit when nothing's going in anymore. Your body and your mind always need breaks. It cannot be a constant revision. You need to give yourself that time and that space.
The advice I'd give to people doing exams now is take a certain amount of time to revise, constantly revise for that about 20 minutes, take 10 minutes to go and clear your head and go back to continue revising so you've got a fresh mindset.
Learn your limits. Not everyone works in the same way, and although I understand it can be hard to get into the zone to study, and when you do, you just want to keep at it and you just want to keep going for like hours on end. But you need to know when enough is enough. You need to learn to take these breaks and to look after yourself while studying. You know, it's a stressful time and everyone's stressed. They handle it differently. So take breaks and just look after yourself while studying. Don't overwork yourself. It doesn't help you.
Another thing that helps me is brown noise. So brown noise is like a fuzzy blurry noise, but it keeps me from getting distracted from any other things in the room, especially living in a house with other siblings. I feel like the brown noises distract me away from anything that's happening in other rooms, so I keep on topic with the work that I'm doing.
When I revise, I like to link a colour with a topic. So say pink post-it note is maths, write little equations on that I need to remember and stick them around my house, so when I'm walking around I read it and associate that colour with that subject so it sticks into my head.
Things that helped me during my exam season were finding a space that preferably wasn't my bedroom to revise in, so that when I did have my breaks I could actually take a step away from my revision and go to what I considered my safe place. So whether that was I revise in the kitchen, or I'd go to a library, or if the weather was nice I'd go and sit in the park and do some revision there. I found that really helped, and revising with friends was also a really good helping point for me. So
although we know that this is an important time and that everyone's going through the same thing, we need to remember that grades don't define ourselves. Our future is going to be wonderful if we just try our best and give 100%. So don't put too much pressure on yourself for overloading things. Just do what you can and make sure you always try your best.